Well, at least the foreigners aren't involved. So I think the evidence points towards the Chinese people not actually being the murderers. Although they did break in and steal some plants. Ah, come on, loading the screen. You can do it. It's a big garden. Hi. Before Dunn's death.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Multiple meetings with Albert. You talked to Miss White. It's possible that all three of them are involved. Like they conspired together to kill the old man. That's possible. He seemed quite calm.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa, something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
That seems to match.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10:10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
That is...
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
That is consistent. That is consistent, I think, those two stories. I think they're consistent. Oh man, do I have to examine their testimonies in detail to figure this out?
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
So he came to see her first, before he saw the other two guys.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
Isn't that also consistent?
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Sometime later.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
3:20. No, no, I'm not gonna do that yet. Listen to her thing. Number 320 is what she was doing on the day of the death. This is the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. The laboratory. I need to look at that in more detail. I think they're consistent. I'm not sure if they're 100% consistent. Three evidence required. Where is 320? Wait a minute. Where's 320? Evidence required? Where did she say it was? Oh wait, no. This door is open. This is new. Wait, did I just... No. Dude, stop, what are you doing? Phonograph cylinders.
Here it is.
320. Don't want to take the other ones?
Cylinder records.
Alright, apparently no. We don't want to see the other ones. 320.
I don't hear.
Wait, how do I use cylinder? Okay, 320.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
Alright. Oh, well, how do you know? How do you know that was recorded at that time? She didn't say the time of the recording or anything. Okay, so... The cylinder recorded by Miss White appears to be quite lengthy, thereby proving that she remained in her laboratory on the day of the crime. Right. Kew Garden Seed House. So can we construct... Let me take notes. Let me take notes. Can you tell me what happened? What Mr. Dunn was doing in the lab? It was supposed to be at 9, but he was... So, 9:10. Dunn visits lab with Miss White. Tuesday week, and then 2 or 3 minutes, and then goes to nursery. To nursery where Hamish. Done to nursery where Hamish was a few minutes later. And then 10:40 Hamish, Albert large glass house. Albert and Hamish Dunn dead at 10:40. And she only stopped work once at 10. So at 10 o'clock, Hamish to the lab where White was. White was in the lab the whole time. Right. Scroll. I was working in the seed house. 9:30, they stepped out to the backyard. So 9:40, I mean 9:40. Albert Seed House. Hamish and Dunn backyard at 9:40. 10 minutes later, so 9:50, Hamish returned here. Hamish, large greenhouse. Dunn dry tropics on the other side. Alright. Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times, saw him talking with Miss White. That was 10:10. 10:10, Hamish in the lab with White. See, that's consistent. Like the other one is 10 o'clock, this one is 10:10. And then he ran back here to say that the father was feeling unwell. Alright. This is seed house, then backyard, goes into dry tropics. Alright, outdoors. Kew Gardens. Scroll. Met him, went to see Albert around 9:30. So 9:30, Hamish and Dunn goes to Albert. That's consistent. He appeared quite calm. After paying multiple visits to Albert, which takes place in a matter of half an hour, I had a little talk with Miss White, and then I returned to my desk to complete paperwork. Then observed that Dunn was not feeling well. Wait a minute, how does he observe Mr. Dunn not feeling well if he's at his desk? And then 10:30, Hamish goes to Albert, raise alarm. Okay, the question, the problem there. How does he observe Mr. Dunn not feeling well if he was at his desk to do the paperwork. Alright, so the office... Oh, this is the director's, my bad. The director's office is there. Hamish's desk is not there. Hamish's desk is here.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Oh, okay, so he can see it. So he can't actually see. So from his window, you can see the...
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Alright, so he can see him. So he can see that he was unwell. Alright. Alright. Alright, so that all lines up. You can see the interior of the Colonial Collections Room.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
Unable... This is Albert's work desk, but then it's not. He wasn't here. Albert wasn't at his desk. But that's Albert's desk. Right. I don't... Oh great, we have to put all that together, don't we? Alright, let's go back to the Colonial Room and start imagining things.
Dry tropic.
Come on, walk, dude, walk.
Water lily.
Determine the correct sequence of events based on the evidence you've gathered. 1. Inhale the spores. But he was locked in. Escaping the room. But he was locked in.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
Right.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.